Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Today we have Julien here with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi Alex. Julien Redmond. I'm from Ignition Data, who are based in Australia. We're the Data Vault certification trainers in that region. We do professional services and build software as well.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So you have a new tool out. Would you like to explain a bit about
We do.
what it does and why why you how it came to be and why you've done it?
Yeah. So we built a Data Vault automation tool called IRiS, really with the philosophy of trying to make it simple, trying to support people who are new to Data Vault and reduce the effort involved in data engineering tasks, really simplify that. We find there's obviously other automation tools that are out there already, but still have quite a steep learning curve. So we really focused on how do we build a user interface and a development process that is simple to learn and repeatable and very agile. So that was the focus anyway for building IRiS.
Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds really good. I mean, I think every engineer wants something simple workflow that makes sense, fits into their natural way of working.
Yeah.
So could you talk me through kind of how it works? What if you were sitting down right now as an engineer?
Yeah.
And what would you need to do?
Yeah, so it's really designed to help people if they're building a modern data platform, maybe blending a lake and a lake house together, maybe in that medallion architecture sort of idea. Really help people move data into their data vault into that lake house structure, and so what it does is really provides the data vault automation capability, but doesn't get in the way of any of the other tools that exist within these large platforms. So if you're investing in the Microsoft platform or the AWS platform, you've got a lot of tools there to use already. Data modeling tools and scheduling tools and ETL tools and all these different sorts of things. So IRiS really augments that platform with data vault automation capability. So it takes a very small amount of metadata from a modeling tool and then from that generates the code for the target source system. Supports the Microsoft platform, Synapse, Snowflake and Databricks, but the code that it produces can be managed by any modern data management platform. So, Data Factory or Glue or Talend or Matillion, or, you name it, because really what it produces is usable code that those tools can pick up and manage and schedule and version control.
Great, yeah. So I can just take it and put it in Git if I wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That'd be the first thing I do as a developer, at least.
Yeah, build your code, put it in Git, then run your testing program and promote it up to production. So you don't actually deploy IRiS into production. It's a development tool. It really helps a developer to develop good Data Vault code without getting in the way of everything else.
Yeah, so it's there to automate the production of artifacts that will then be promoted to production.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's got some nice little bells and whistles. It's got some capability, a thing we call source on raw, which really helps to provide a view in the source structure that's produced off the raw vault so that you can very quickly reconcile. Helps if you're implementing an automated test program. And sometimes it helps with migrating existing reporting packages off a source system and those sorts of things. And it comes with some assistance to help with your governance tooling, data lineage and those sorts of things. And some wrappers to make sure that any dependencies within the scheduling are taken care of too.
Great. Okay, so I can use more or less whatever I want with it, around it.
Yeah, that's the idea. Just whatever platform a company's invested in, this just helps augment that with Data Vault automation. And it's so it's a handful of their developers that would require that. So it's a small investment in license footprint. It's very easy to get hold of. It's a simple download, very quick install, and it just really gives that automation capability, but then it also gives a lot of support to the developer. There's online training program and there's a playbook to guide people through the development process, reinforces the learnings from Data Vault training and those sorts of things.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think you were telling me before we came into the podcast about how kind of one of the things that you're aiming at is getting it in front of people and making it kind of augment their existing workflow, not get in the way, like you say, and just sort of kind of fit into their stack.
Yeah, non-disruptive, Data Vault automation.
It's a good philosophy to have.
Yeah, it's we think it's a different approach. We think that there's lots of people diving into these cloud platforms, these modern data platforms with a huge range of tools, but these big vendors aren't necessarily focused on things like data vault automation. So we don't want them to have to rip all that stuff out and put in another big tool. We want them to just augment, and that's that's the philosophy.
Or get one of the larger tools and only use 10% of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is another problem, right?
Well, you waste money if you're overlapping in capability. So this is just a targeted capability, and we're trying to make it, easy to acquire, easy to approve, because you don't have to deploy something to production. So it's not going to get in the way of your an architecture committee or a security committee. It's very easy to fit in and understand what it does, what it reaches, where its touch is, and understand that it's not going to breach any of your existing policies. Yeah. And then it's not going to mean that you have to do a steep learning curve for your developers. And because it is very iterative, you actually map a single source system at a time. It really promotes that agile way of working that we're seeing in these new data platforms, where people are trying to promote, data into their data vault based on a use case. Yep. Rather than trying to populate a large warehouse before they really think of it. Yeah, that's right. We want it to be, I need 5 tables today because the use case is this. So run through the process, take a few minutes, deploy that code, load the data, and then deliver the use case.
That's the exact kind of workflow we're seeing in our clients as well. Yeah. So it makes sense. Yeah. I think, if you don't mind me saying, the lower price point of all of this reflects everything you've just said.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we want it to be inexpensive and easy to use so that more people can get the benefits of Data Vault.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we should be doing as a community, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So in terms of kind of future plans, then obviously it's fairly early days. You're on version 2 at the moment.
Yeah, version 2.3 is the current version. So with that one, we released support for Databricks. So that's a nice addition.
A lot of people will be happy with that.
Yeah. It's obviously growing in popularity. We've got some really good ideas around even simplifying the process even more. So right now we have a few steps for loading in the required metadata. We can probably reduce that to a single step. And we have some good ideas around how to support modeling. So in a mature site, you're going to have a data modeler or a data modeling team that's got really good control of their data model. But early on, people are generally trying to do something quick and understand the value. So we're going to build in some features that help maybe automate the early phases of a data vault modeling. So we get a single source system. It's quite easy to understand what the vault model for a single source might look like. Down the track, you seriously need to understand how you're integrating your data, but early on we can support those. And so that's really about helping new users to Data Vault start to build wins, because I think, as we all know, if you can build trust in the business that the approach you're using is working and delivering value, then it's a lot easier to get support for maybe bigger pieces of work, and that's when you really need to think about your modeling.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think it's really important to understand that with any data vault automation tool, there's no ultimate easy button where you generate everything.
No.
And there are some that do that, but they're never quite right, and you need to go in and modify it. And I think what you've said is you're automating the bits that can be automated, just making those bits easier, so you can focus in on the modeling that needs to happen, that you need to think about.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no substitute for good quality modeling. Yeah. I think leaning on those in the community that have got really good Data Vault modeling expertise, like yourselves, is really important. And then you just want a tool that takes all of the mundane stuff and automates as much as possible.
Yeah.
And then makes that process really simple, because you want to be able to have people be able to learn the process quickly, and if they ever need to go and pick up something and make a change because there's been a change in the business, you want it to be consistent and easy to read and easy to check back out a job and make some modifications and then reapply. That sort of stuff's really important. Yeah. So but nothing. I don't think there's any way to simplify the value of really good Data Vault modeling, and business rules as well. I think the solving of complex business rules still requires an experienced data engineer and a really good business analyst to work out. And we can't automate that stuff yet. We may never be able to, or it might be an AI thing. Who knows? But
it's about automating as much as possible.
Yeah.
So that you can spend more time and focus on the bits that you can't.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Make the data engineering tasks business as usual. Focus on the modeling. Focus on the business rules, and really try and help people focus on being agile, so they're delivering value-based outcomes rather than I loaded 400 tables today. That's not really all that valuable.
Well, yeah, especially if they're only 10 are going to be used in the next few months, right?
Exactly.
Just creating bloat for no reason.
Yeah, do today's work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, that's been amazing. Is there any final things you want us to add?
Well, I mean, there's obviously there's information about IRiS online at our website, so ignition-data.com. So you can go there. We're obviously running webinars and those sorts of things as well, and we're going to do some stuff with you guys. So come to those. There is also with the product, actually. I don't know if I mentioned it. We have what we call the IRiS Knowledge Hub. So that's where we have our online training and the playbook that supports it and those sorts of things. So that comes with a license-free access to online training and all those sorts of things. So we're really, really trying to build something that supports value in the data vault community.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be really powerful in the community, and hopefully we'll see it gain traction.
Yeah, awesome.
More and more. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.